Sunday's 2023 Hollywood Casino 400 NASCAR race at Kansas was a nail-biter. And here, two racing giants, Busch and Kyle Larson, discuss the race. Want to know how these seasoned drivers manage the twists and turns of race day, from surprise strategy calls to heart-pounding moments on the track? Plus, get the inside scoop on late pit stops, daring restarts, and the teamwork that kept them in the game. Stay tuned to NASCAR Zone as we unravel the drama and excitement of this exciting race day showdown. But before we dive into that, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. So far, the NASCAR 2023 season has not been kind to many drivers. Is there any hope for the upcoming races? And how was the race at Kansas? Let's take a look. First, let's talk about Busch's post-race interview. Looks like Kyle Busch has been having a tough time recently. Just last week at Darlington, he had a bit of a rough start during practice. The two-time Cup Series champion ended up hitting the wall, but his team worked hard to get him back in shape for qualifying. Unfortunately, he had to start at the back of the field because of the repairs. And now, it looks like his bad luck is following him to Kansas. During the practice session here in Kansas, the Richard Childress Racing driver's car got a bit loose, and he ended up smacking into that outside retainer wall, causing some serious damage to his ride. Unlike the last time, he didn't even get to participate in the qualifying session. So he's starting from the back once more. After this incident, Busch had a chat with the media and shared his frustration about this repeated situation.
Just like every other weekend, always put in a hole, always put behind, always have to come and dig ourselves out. So I hate it for all the guys. I mean, the car was really good, had good longevity there. We were just running laps and running some pretty good laps comparatively to the rest of our group that we were with at that time. And I'm just going to fine tune on some things in order to get ready for qualifying. And here we are starting last again. So just never ends. I don't know what to do to change it, but hate it again for our Casey's General Stores guys. Got a lot of work ahead of us tonight, but we'll do it.
So is this incident something that could potentially worry Kyle Busch as he navigates through the playoffs? For now, the short answer would be no, because the RCR driver currently holds the 7th position in the standings. He's comfortably ahead of the cutoff for the next round of eliminations, and possibly even further down the line for the round of 8. However, it's important to remember that consistently strong performances in every playoff race have their advantages as the field of competitors shrinks with each elimination round. At this moment, Kyle Busch seems to be in a decent position based on his points, but he'll need to steer clear of any more incidents like this one if he wants to stay ahead of the game and pursue his goal of securing his 3rd championship title. Meanwhile, Byron also encountered some trouble during Saturday's practice session at Kansas Speedway. However, he won't be starting from the back of the field like Kyle Busch. NASCAR officials discovered a manufacturing issue with a part that Byron's team had replaced, and as a result, he's able to maintain his 9th place starting position. During practice, Byron completed 8 laps before bringing his number 24 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet to the pit road due to a broken suspension component. His crew managed to repair the part, allowing him to make a qualifying attempt. Upon investigation, NASCAR officials determined that the problem was related to a manufacturing issue affecting the upper and lower control arms on the number 24 Chevy. It wasn't deemed an unapproved adjustment, so Byron is all set to start 9th in the 400-mile race on Sunday. Byron shared with NBC Sports that he felt the issue in his steering during practice and expressed relief that it happened during a Saturday practice session.
Yeah, I think we're going to be able to change it. I'm not sure of all the details there, but yeah, what I felt was I was coming off a 4, coming down the front straightaway, and the wheel just kind of jerked to the left, and felt like I unloaded the wheel, so I knew it was something steering related. So unfortunately, at first we couldn't really find it, and then when we started messing with the wheel here, sitting on pit road, it's a broken right front suspension piece, so pretty substantial suspension component. So yeah, we've never had that happen. Probably just running really fast around here, but hopefully we get it fixed. And our Raptor Chevrolet had a lot of pace there, so I felt really good about our car. Was just gonna try to run 20 to 25 laps, and luckily it didn't happen on entry. It could have been a lot worse, so it happened there right at the end of the tri-oval. So we'll be able to fix the car.
This race is part of the 3-race round of 16, which marks the beginning of the 10-race postseason in NASCAR. Now, speaking of race in Kansas, what are your thoughts? We're all ears. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and be sure to hit the bell button and subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates. Now let's move on to Kyle Larson. While there hasn't been a ton of drama between them recently, there's always been a bit of a rivalry simmering between Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson in the world of NASCAR. Over the years, we've seen some moments where things got a bit heated on the track, with questionable moves and such. However, it's not been a recurring theme between the two. But an incident at Kansas Speedway seemed to once again highlight the rivalry between Larson and Elliott. This incident took place during a late pit stop when the number 5 and the number 9 cars were coming off of pit road. It appeared that Larson bumped into Elliott, prompting NASCAR's most popular driver to send a message to his teammate. However, the truth behind why Larson had to make contact with Elliott wasn't out of malice, but out of necessity. In a post-race interview, Larson clarified the incident, explaining that the presence of a third car, driven by Brad Keselowski, played a key role in the situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I've seen it right there. We were just, from my vantage point, I knew we were 3 wide leaving, and, I knew, well, I didn't know, but at the time, the 6 is pitted in front of us, and I just, I'm trying to leave as much space as I can. He's coming out into the lane quickly because the 6 wants to slow us down, and I tried to leave as much space as I could. Obviously, I made contact with him, but I felt like if I didn't, I was going to clobber the 6, right in the right front. And I thought the safest bet for all of us was for me to, squeeze out a little bit. So I understand why he's mad or was mad in the moment. I hope when he sees a replay, he understands that I didn't have any space or, not much, just inches. So yeah, just a bummer, but I'm glad that neither of us got tore up there and we could, get a good finish.
While Chase Elliott kept it short and sweet when asked about his actions against Larson.
I couldn't tell what you were doing under caution there with Kyle, but what was the message you were trying to send?
Oh, there was no message.
There's no message. You didn't have a problem with him?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah.
All right.
As we look ahead to Bristol, it remains uncertain whether we'll witness more on-track action between Elliott and Larson, or if this incident will simply be another chapter in their ongoing rivalry. Talking about the winner, Tyler Reddick took a better advantage. Tyler Reddick secured his spot in the NASCAR Cup Series playoff round of 12 in thrilling fashion, making a daring 3-wide last-lap pass in overtime to win the Hollywood Casino 400. The dramatic finish unfolded after Chris Buescher brought out a caution flag with a flat right rear tire just 6 laps from the finish. Reddick, following a 4-tire pit stop, emerged in 5th place. At that point, Daniel Suarez, the race leader, chose not to pit, while Eric Jones, Joey Logano, and Kyle Busch took 2 tires. As they approached the white flag, the opportunity on the bottom lane opened up, and Reddick, with fresher tires, made a bold move to the apron, ultimately clearing the pack and taking the lead into Turn 1. Unfortunately, the late caution spelled bad luck for Denny Hamlin, who had seemed poised for victory before the yellow flag was waved. It wasn't just Chris Buescher who faced troubles on Sunday. Martin Truex Jr., the regular season champion, crashed on lap 4 and had to retire from the race. Bubba Wallace also had a challenging day, breaking the toe link after a flat tire caused him to hit the wall on lap 108. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.